In this video, we're going to show you how to install the brake flex hose on your Ford Taurus located behind your right front wheel. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to go loosen and remove our lug nuts. With the lug nuts removed, grab your wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Now we have our flex hose right here. I'm going to go ahead and use a pair of pliers here to stop the fluid from coming down for a little bit. Now this isn't necessary. It does help a little bit. And we also have a catch can and some towels underneath to catch the brake fluid that we are going to lose. Using our 14mm socket, I'm going to go ahead and loosen and remove this here. Now when you remove this, you're going to have a copper washer on this side of the block as well as the other side. Make sure that you remove them both. Now we're going to move to the other side. Right here, it's right behind our sway bar end link. We have the hard line that comes over to the flex hose. And we're going to use two wrenches. One is a 16mm and the other one is a 13. So the 16 is to hold the union right here. And we're going to use the other wrench here. I want to go ahead and loosen the hard line. Now the reason why we're using the 16 here is to hold that so it doesn't twist. We don't want this to break. And slowly work this here. Now we are going to lose fluid here. You can see it starting to drip out. Now there's nothing we can do about losing the fluid from the hard line at this point here. Here we go. Now we're going to use a pair of needle nose pliers. And we're going to go ahead and grab this little horseshoe clip right here. This little tab, just give that a wiggle and pull that off. There it is. And grab this line and pull that out. Now it is keyed, so it fits into this bracket in a specific direction. So remove that, set that aside. Grab this here, line that up and put that on, and we can reinstall our horseshoe clip here. Now if you can, I like to get in here with a hammer and just kind of tap this on. Go ahead and grab that hard line, pop that into place. Now you need to make sure when you're installing this here that this threads in nice and easy. Then you're going to wiggle this, get that to line up. Now this is critical. You want to make sure that this threads in. You can't cross thread it, otherwise you're going to end up having to repair the hard line as well. Just going to run this all over the end and snug it down. Now at this point, we already have brake fluid running through that line at the other end. And once that bottoms, let's go ahead and grab that big wrench, hold the union here, and we need to snug this down. All right, and then to the other side, you're going to take the bolt with a new copper washer, slide that over, put that through the block, install the second copper washer on the other side, and then let's go ahead and line that up. Put that onto our caliper and get this started. Make sure you have that in several threads. Then we'll go ahead and snug that down. Go ahead and give this a spray with some solvent. Want to make sure that we don't have any residual brake fluid sitting around. Clean all that up. Now let's go ahead and torque down our banjo bolt. Locate your bleeder screw at the top of the caliper, remove the rubber cap, and use a 10mm box end wrench and open this up. The reason why I'm opening this up is that we want to purge any air. You can see the bubbles coming out. There's air from our new line we just installed purging out. You need to wait for a couple moments while this purges out any other air. Seems like we don't have any more air bubbles coming out, so we can go ahead and snug this down. Go ahead and spray this down again with your solvent. And then install the cap. Torque down the banjo bolt to 35 foot-pounds. Now, if you find that you pump up the brake pedal and it's still soft and spongy, you want to go ahead and continue to the brake bleeding process for this vehicle. Grab your wheel, line it up onto the studs. Let's go ahead and get our lug nuts started. And once we get all these started, we'll go ahead and snug them down. When doing this here, it's best if you do it in a star pattern or crisscross pattern. Now we can go ahead and torque our wheel. Let's go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds. Preferably, you want to go ahead and do this in a crisscross pattern. And you're all set. With the hood open, go ahead and locate your master reservoir right here. I want to start by cleaning the top of this here, get rid of all the debris and dirt around here. Now we do have a drip mat here just to protect the other components. Give that a spray and wipe this down. We want to prevent any dirt and debris to falling down inside that reservoir. Now, two things we have here. We have an evacuation tool here. This is going to be used to suck the fluid out. You can sometimes use a turkey baster, but on this particular model, the port to gain access to the fluid is very small, so that may not work. You're going to need something with a smaller tube. We also have a container on the side to put that fluid when we remove this. Move that cap, set it aside. Try and feed this down as far as we can. And the goal here is just to remove as much as you can. You may not get it all. Now, when we got our vehicle in here, it was already low on brake fluid. It's normally filled up almost to the top there. So also recommended to be wearing safety glasses when you're doing a job like this. Now once you evacuated as much fluid as you can, we're going to go ahead and remove our container here and get that out of the way. Now on your master reservoir here, there's going to be some sort of marking where it says max and a minimum. So go ahead and top off the reservoir to the max line with some fresh fluid. On this particular vehicle, it actually states here to use your DOT 4. Here it is. Go ahead and grab that cap and secure it. With the vehicle raised and we have our wheels off here, we're going to start our brake bleeding process at the right rear wheel. Now this procedure is going to start at the right rear wheel, then you're going to go over to the left rear, continue over to the right front, and then we're going to end with the left front. Now right here on our caliper, we have a rubber cap covering our bleeder screw. Yours may or may not have this. It is not critical to the operation, but you want to go ahead and remove that cap if you do have it. Now inside of our car, we have a person that's going to go ahead and pump up our brakes and help us with this procedure, and we'll walk you through that as we go. We're going to go ahead and use our 11mm wrench, and we just want to go ahead and crack this free just a little bit. Make sure we can loosen this. And there it is. We can move that. And we're going to put our reservoir on here. And this is going to be used to capture our fluid as we start that brake bleeding process. Now when we're ready, we're going to have that person inside the vehicle pump up their brake pedal about 3 pushes, and they're going to hold pressure on that. I'm going to crack open this line here and let that fluid push through. Once that pedal inside the vehicle goes to the floor, that person is going to let me know that it's at the floor. They're going to hold that pressure. I'm going to tighten this. Then they're going to release, and we're going to continue to do this process 2 to 3 times, or as many times as it takes to get rid of any of the dirty fluid, as well as the air bubbles in the line. So let's go ahead and start that process. If you could go ahead and pump up the brakes. All right, they've informed me that they're holding that, so we're going to go ahead and loosen this. You see that fluid come up and out, and they're at the floor, so snug that down. And we're going to repeat this process until we get some good clean fluid and no air bubbles. Continue, please. Go ahead. And we'll do this one more time. All right, we'll snug this down. I'm going to go ahead and bring my reservoir down so we can go ahead and open up this port here. Let that fluid drain down in there. Go ahead and give this a quick spray with some solvent. Clean up any of that residual fluid that might have dribbled out. Go ahead and put that rubber cap on. You want to go ahead and repeat this process for the left rear or the driver's side. And then we're going to meet underneath the hood and go ahead and top off the master cylinder reservoir. Now that we've bled the left rear wheel, let's go ahead and top off our reservoir. Go ahead and install your cover. Make sure it's secured. Now that we've topped off the reservoir, let's go ahead and continue with the right front wheel. With the wheel cranked out, it gives you the best access. Go ahead and locate your bleeder screw and pop off the rubber cap if you have it. Grab your 10mm and put your hose on here. And go ahead and pump up the brakes. Okay, pump it up. Go ahead. Now we have a solid stream of fluid coming out here. I'm using my pliers on this here just because the rubber port here is a little loose. Now after you're done there, go ahead and use your spray solvent. Clean up any residual brake fluid here. Install the rubber cap. Then you want to go ahead and repeat this process on the driver's side front. Once we do that driver's side front, we're going to go ahead and top off the master cylinder. Now that we finished bleeding the brakes, let's go ahead and top off the reservoir. Go ahead and install your cover. Make sure it's secured. Now that we're done bleeding the brakes, you want to go ahead and hop into the vehicle, pump up the brake pedal. Now, for any reason, if that brake pedal should still feel mushy, you want to go ahead and repeat this process a second time. Once that pedal feels solid, go ahead and install your wheels and torque them down to 100 foot-pounds and take it for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.